So, but I wanted. So all right. So listen, like I told you before, man. I went back and watched the interview. I didn't get a chance to watch the whole interview that we had before, but it was. I'm saying, like I said, it was really good. Besides some of the things, some inputs that was in, whatever. I'm not gonna go into that, but it was a really good interview, right? Well, you know what conversation we had in the interview? We talked about T.I. Remember that?
Yeah.
Reigns. I don't know if he likes him at this moment, but he was a T.I. fan at that moment. You know, we at this moment, this is COVID. I want to say at this time, this is the time when T.I. was, you know, out there being outspoken about a lot of things that was going on at that time. What are your comments about current T.I. now? Right now, at this moment, you know, 2023. What are your thoughts about T.I.?
Current T.I., I have no idea what he's got going on currently. Right?
Got you.
These past few months, I can honestly say the last 6 months, when it comes to a lot of people, a lot of celebrities, sports, it's been very, very minute of how much I catch any of that, right? So I can't speak on current T.I., but I grew up middle school, high school, heavy T.I. fan. When I first went into the Air Force, a lot of people used to always tell me I sound like Tip, right? Sound like T.I. And I remember when I had to go live in Claremont, Florida when I was a junior, and it was wild how many people could not understand me, because back then, man, my accent was real strong. It's gotten better, right? But back then, as a teenager, it was real strong. So anyways, I just know that from what I seen the last things that I seen, essentially pretty much the last time I spoke on it, I wasn't happy with what I saw, because Tip was somebody that I looked up to, right? And I was under the impression that as you progress in life, especially as an artist, as somebody that's involved in the community and whatnot, you know, the progression is supposed to keep going, right? However, but we also know the industry, well, we have an idea of the industry and the type of things that go on in the industry and rumors and all of that. So you understand, yep. So it was like, based on where I'm going and where he's going, he's not somebody that I'm just super involved with. You know what I'm saying? If that make any sense. So I can't really speak on, man, I follow him on IG, but I don't know when the last time I seen a post from him, you know, because it doesn't come up in my feed, you know. But yeah, that's pretty much that, man. So I mean, what he got going on currently, y'all can bring me up to date.
I mean, you know, there's a lot. T.I., man, you know, I in my personal opinion, man, I think that T.I., his family life, you know, is too much. It's out there too much, you know. And I understand he's a you know, he's an entertainer, right? But it is very possible for you to keep your family life a secret.
Private. Yeah,
a little bit more private, you know. Obviously he had to talk. He had the reality show, but and T.I., please, you know, like I said, if this comes across to you, man, I love you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, right, and you know, but as I've grown as a husband, you know, I'm very protective of my family. very protective. Like I tell people every day. Somebody say, "Hey, listen, it's been a good 43 years, but if I gotta die in the place of my family, that's what's gonna happen. It's just what it is. That's the mindset I've always had. Probably since the day I met my wife. You know what I'm saying? Since we've been together, that's always been my mindset. I gotta protect them at all costs. And I feel like he had to, and this is just for me looking from the outside in. You got to do a better job protecting your family from that outside noise.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because these kids are sensitive. You think your kid is all right, but your kid may not be all right because social media is rough. And they absorb all of that in
every day.
You know what I'm saying? Right? They absorb. They see all the comments. They might be like, oh, well, you know what? I don't really pay attention to the comments. Mm-hmm. They really do. That's their world. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't know what you do behind the scenes. I don't. Just from the outside, and I feel like looking at this. I'm looking at it. I'm saying to myself, I've watched King from a baby, and it don't look good for the kid. You know what I'm saying? He out here getting arrested. He, you know what I'm saying? I see him on there, I mean, I don't know. It looked like he's smoking weed, whatever. I don't know what he doing. But when I look at his face, he don't look good. He don't look good, man. I look in the eyes, and it just don't look good. But what y'all think about current T.I., man? What are y'all thoughts about right now, current T.I.?
Bro, I don't even start.
Go ahead, Chuck. Go ahead.
Listen, man. I've been following T.I. for quite some time. I'm in my mid-30s, so by the time I started getting, as Clint would know, when I had the old yellow joint, I had the 212s in there, and one of the first CDs I had was trap music. You know what I'm saying? So, certain albums that kind of just stick out in my head as I, growing up, having the beats in the car as a Southerner. So, I think what current T.I. is almost like he's trying to reinvent himself, and it just not connecting as he intended. Because T.I. always gave the impression that he had a pathway forward and a vision of what he wanted to accomplish. But now he's trying different things, and I'm trying to do comedy, try to do the TV show, and that came with some probably inadvertent exposure that he can't take back. And then he, the whole snitching thing came up, and then he ran against Charleston White. So he's taking some hits. So we got to see, what's going to happen in the next probably a couple years, if he's going to be able to, quote unquote, rebrand himself or get back to quote unquote old T.I. But right now he's in a state of influx. And
now I want to make sure that D-Reigns understand, because we just catching D-Reigns up above T.I., right? So I want him to understand exactly what the whole Charleston White thing was. Now, before for the audience, I don't normally get into this. But I think this is we can spin this to be like some I guess a little bit deeper, because I like to take like stuff that's tabloid, and hopefully we can get some real meaning out of it. You understand what I'm saying? So Chuck, explain what happened with Charleston White.
I'm gonna try to.
Who's Charleston White?
So Charleston White, based. How can I say this? I'm in and out of YouTube streets, So I'm gonna try to keep this. You know what I'm saying? I be it'd be like sometimes it just come up with like, wait a minute, what is this about? And then I'm like, oh, this dude is crazy. This is a character.
Right.
And then you start
Right.
seeing other stuff. You're like,
Right.
oh, cause that's but so Charleston White is a he first came on the scene as actually he's an activist. That was his kind of his start. He got certain legislation passed in regards to like jail reform, that type of thing. But he started to figure out the only way he can really, quote unquote, get more traction was to present himself as a character. So like when you see him now, this is kind of like, WWE, you know what I'm saying, for him. So, but what has happened is because he say things that's very outlandish, but if you actually hear him long enough in a we'll call long form communication where he's talking through things, he does make sense. It just sometimes the verbiage can be abrasive, or it's very like hit you in the chest. So there's no he cuts through. So the thing with Charleston White is he is really kind of unpacking some of the stuff, like the veil that has been covering some people. Like he know what the bodies are buried for some people. So he really kind of starting to quote unquote snitch. So he's like, oh, T.I., I know about that situation, the paperwork. Or the other guy from Texas, what's the man name? Jay Prince. Oh yeah, I know what time it is. That type of thing. So he started to, he knows more than he probably should, and people are really like, well, we don't know how to deal with that because he for real. Like I will. He does not subscribe to the normal street code. He's like,
right, yeah. He's like, nah, like, yo,
I'm
you
calling
put your
police.
hands on me, I'm calling the police. You know what I'm saying?
Police.
I'm a civilian.
And speaking to what Tino said about King had a situation over social media with him, and that's how that whole situation with him and T.I. became about. And T.I. was trying to have his quote unquote man to man conversation or treat it like it's a street situation. And Charles White's like, I'm not dealing on no terms. Like, bro, if you come anywhere near me, you know what I'm saying? I got the captain of the police on speed dial. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, and that's the thing. And ever since that situation with T.I., that when that came out, it's been like somewhat downhill for T.I. Like he never could get he's been trying to like rebuild his credibility since. And it's been odd to see it like in real time because now they ask him about certain situations, about paperwork, that type of thing. So that's Charleston White. Charleston White is the guy that you like.
I've seen him here and there, and
okay.
Yeah, he's definitely he's going to bring out them skeletons. That's what. Yeah. That's what he's been doing these past few years.
He's like, listen, if you do anything illegal around him, he is snitching. He is not holding water. Nothing. And I respect that. He gonna let you know where he at with it. I mean, no matter if you like it or don't like it, but he always gonna let you know where he stand on something. So I'm like, that's all you can really ask for somebody like, oh, listen, man, I ain't with the holding your stuff and like, nah, bro. If you moving packs around here. Hey man, this dude over here moving packs, bro.
Hey, listen. Listen, Walton, you chime in. He got op vibes, right? I hear what he's saying, right? I hear what
he got op vibes.
He gives me ops, right? Because my thing is like the come on, I don't know. I don't understand what his motive is. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Right? It's like you. Yes, I hear you talking about a lot of good things about fatherhood and how children, what's going on with children and the correctional facilities and everything. But then on the flip side, I also see you. Very disrespectful, inviting people to expose themselves to on social media, you know these people are watching. You know, if you really, in my opinion, if you really about trying to change people, you know, you need to, you know how to address black people. And you don't address the way you doing it, you don't address people that way, man. You gotta, you know, you like you said, you gotta be respectful. You gotta come in a tone where you trying to change, but it don't look like you give me ops.
Some people like controversy, man, unfortunately. So I mean,
some people
he want all of it.
He want, that's the game, bro. Like I think he knew like if you think about that's gonna be that might be going a bit of a stretch, but a majority of people who make it, especially in the YouTube space and social media, you have to cut through the noise. And usually to cut through the noise, you have to be very counter of what's either going on or very abrasive. And so this is the strategy he's using. He is the heel. If you want to go into wrestling terms, he's the villain. But he's kind of the villain that's in a lot of times a good villain has good choices at times. Like the choice not bad. Sometimes you like when you think about the Avengers, when you think about Thanos, sometimes like, man, this dude trying to eliminate half the universe. When you start hearing him unpacking why he's doing it, you're like,
it makes sense. It makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? So you're like, this is bad. How does some element of, so that's the dilemma that people run with him. It's like he's very abrasive. Something he's like, bro, you wild for saying stuff like that. Then on the flip side of things, you hear him say something else that's very insightful, and that's the thing that keeps your attention. Mm-hmm. So that's the strategy with him.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. He's ops, man. I'm just saying.
That's what you're doing? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm just saying.
Hempstead Nights, silky slim with the pearly whites. Earned a rep being smooth with the ladies. Plus could fight, kept the knife in his inside coat pocket. 22 strap on his ankle as another option. Protege of Chocolate Tay and OG from around the way. Used to run numbers and push, yay, no Yeezy.
Subscribe for the very